BC, NBC.
Hey, Bob, how's business? Is the new website helping?
Not good. I can't figure out how to get the website finished. How did you do it?
Easy. I called Web.com. They built my website for free. Then they promoted it on all the search engines.
Like Google, Yahoo, and Bing?
Exactly. And Web.com has helped grow my business so much, I had to bring on new staff.
Hey, if Web.com did it for you, they're perfect for me.
Call now, 1-800-535-8815. That's 1-800-535-8815. Again, 1-800-535-8815.
Have you had trouble with online dating? This is eHarmony founder Dr. Neil Clark Warren. We've created a new solution, EH Plus. EH Plus combines the personal attention of a matchmaker with eHarmony's extensive pool of great singles. EH Plus gives you hand-selected matches and freedom from being online. Get started today. Call 855-930-LOVE. That's 855-930-LOVE.
This is KCAA.
Consider this your invitation to sell. At buysellmakeoffer.com, you can sell as much as you want for the next 60 days without paying any fees whatsoever. Sound incredible? It is, and it's true. Buysellmakeoffer.com is the new exciting way to sell your stuff online. Make extra money right now. Sell your old car, furniture, video games, household items, clothes, even your home. Sell anything that's legal. Load up your stuff to sell right now at buysellmakeoffer.com. This is your official invitation to get on board to sell your stuff right now. Free for the next 60 days. And once you see how easy it is, you'll want to sign up for more because there are no item fees. That's right. Take this opportunity to move items from the other guys and sell it for free. You might even win a Samsung tablet, Amazon gift cards, and other cool prizes. BuySellMakeOffer.com is the future of online selling. You can use Skype to talk to your buyer or seller. Plus, you can use video to showcase your items. BuySellMakeOffer.com.
Good afternoon. It's a couple of minutes past the hour. I'm Successful Brim with the latest in local news on KCAA 1050 AM. A Kentucky county clerk was arrested for refusing to issue marriage licenses to gay couples due to her religious beliefs. After this summer's Supreme Court decision legalizing same-sex marriage across the country, Kim Davis had tried suing the state's governor for religious discrimination, but her case was rejected. Davis' refusal to issue marriage licenses to gay couples has drawn both critics and supporters.
The judge did his job and followed the laws and held her in contempt of court, and she should have to follow those laws as well.
During a hearing Thursday, the judge offered to release Davis if she promised not to interfere with her employees issuing licenses, but she refused. The judge then stated Kim Davis would remain in jail at least a week, saying he would revisit the decision after the deputy clerks have had time to comply with his order. And a 2-year-old boy who was in critical condition after being struck by a hit-and-run driver in San Bernardino earlier this week has died. Jonathan Montez was struck by a car as he ran across the street in front of his home on Paris Hill Road near Baseline. KTLA spoke with neighbors who saw the incident.
I heard from inside. It was really loud.
Following the crash, authorities were searching for the driver of an older model silver Subaru that was apparently traveling about 40 miles per hour in a 25 miles per hour zone when it struck Jonathan. Witnesses said the driver never slowed down. Authorities are asking anyone with information about the crash to contact the San Bernardino CHP office at 909-383-4247. Inland Empire weather, sunny, highs near the mid-80s, lows tonight about 57. Currently, it's 97 degrees in San Bernardino. That's the latest in local news. I'm Successful Brim on KCAA 1050 AM. This report is brought to you by Preparation H. Don't stand for hemorrhoids. Get relief with the power of 2 from Preparation H. First, use the fast-acting Preparation H medicated wipes. Then, longer-lasting maximum strength cream. Use as directed.
And checking out your traffic drive this afternoon through Fontana. Stop and go on the 15 northbound between Sierra and Glen Helen Parkway. In the Cajon Pass, 15 north is slow from Sierra to the 215. South, slow between Oak Hills Road and Kenwood Avenue. And through Ontario, it's stop and go southbound 15 between the 10 and Harupa Street, Ontario. It is slow on the 15 south in pockets from the 10 to Cajalco. And then the 15 north is slow from stretches from Temescal Temescal Canyon Road to 4th Street. And that is the very latest with traffic on the station that leaves no listener behind. We are going to go straight to Huntington Henry. We are going to kind of do our own sort of rendition of the Poor Man Show without Poor Man here. So we got to go straight to the Beach Report.
Surf's up, and it's time for the Surf City Beach Report with Huntington Henry.
Hey, thank you, Di Rice, Trevor, Lyle, Leslie, everybody out there in Radio Land, Pat Matthews. This is a very important public service announcement, Beach and Surf Report for Southern California. Large waves have been generated thousands of miles away in the southern hemisphere of our planet and will start to arrive late tomorrow, Saturday night, and peaking Monday on one of the biggest, busiest holidays, Memorial Day. Even though the surf will not look fairly large in most areas, 4 to 7 feet, peaking, it will contain a high volume of water pushing behind them. Don't take this lightly. The wedge in Newport Beach expected to see sets 10 to possibly 15 feet on the wave face. Anybody fishing or hanging out on the rocks or jetties, please be advised of rogue waves that will knock you off those jetties unexpectedly. With weather to be mid 70s, sorry, the weather's going to be good. It's going to be sunny, okay? And the water is incredibly warm, mid 70s. This is a deadly combination. Please swim in front of the lifeguard towers. Henry told you so. Henry told you so. We lost 5 drownings last week during that heat wave, and the waves were only moderate surf. I'm just calling you to warn you guys. Have a great weekend, have fun, and that's the latest from Huntington Beach, California.
You lost 5 what?
We lost 5 people in drownings from that
Really?
last heat wave, and the waves were only about 5 to 6 foot faces.
Wow. Serious stuff out there.
This one's the biggest surf coming in. It's not, like I said, it's not going to be super high. It's going to mislead a lot of people. This is coming from the southern hemisphere, pushing thousands of miles of water to our beaches. It's very deadly. Be careful.
All right. Hey, thank you. Hey, Henry, we are going to did you start listening to Poor Man way back in 2010 when he first came on KCAA?
Yes, I sure did.
You did?
Bit here
Okay.
And there. And, it took me a while to find out that he was back on. But, yeah, a little bit.
Okay. So tell him what we're doing here. We want to know if this sounds familiar to you. Does that sound familiar?
It's a little distorted on my speakerphone.
Beautiful girls and so much to say. Good advice without a price, and he'll make you feel at home. Poor man.
Now, Randy Redmond that wrote that music.
Yeah, that was his intro, I guess, originally.
Do you know if that was written by Randy Redmond? Because he was coming up with a lot of good songs.
That was
before
not.
I
That
do
was
remember
written
that
by
one.
Spencer Livingston. Spencer Livingston, whose dad was also Barry Livingston on My Three Sons.
Yeah.
Spencer wrote that.
Ernie
on My Three Sons, his son.
It's a cool riff.
Wait, Barry and the other one were brothers, right?
Okay.
Barry and the other one were brothers, right? Stanley and Barry. Stanley. Huntington Henry. It's Labor Day weekend, not Memorial Day, brother.
You got it, buddy. I'm not really an expert on the days of the month, but I'll tell you, the surf coming in is a deadly combination.
Now, I believe you. I'll take your word for that, brother.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Well, Poor Man, this is for
Thank
me.
you for correcting me on that, too. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, I just noticed it when you were talking at first.
We correct each other.
Yeah, don't we?
I've been correcting each other.
Some of those news guys go on TV and they don't want to correct each other, when you know it's totally bogus what they're saying.
Right.
But that's what I like. I like that you did that for me, because sometimes you don't realize, what you're saying.
You got to get the truth out. And
Yeah,
I guess
exactly.
we're going to do that this hour.
Oh, yeah.
The truth is coming out.
We got a whole hour to do it in.
Well, I don't know if
I hope you're listening, guys. Don't take it easy on me if you got anything to say, okay?
Got it, Henry.
All right, Trevor, how long does this go on for?
You're running the show.
I'm
done with mine.
I like the riff. I like it, but I think I'm going to say goodbye for now.
Okay, go ahead and put Welcome to the Jungle on.
Well, hold on. Here's the deal. Todd is on the line. Now, I was given specific instructions not to let him on, I don't know, like past a minute if he doesn't apologize, but Todd is rather confused. Let me just start off, though. I really wanted him. This is so funny because I was listening back to the first show that I did with Poor Man, and Todd was on there. First time I'd ever talked to him, picked up the phone, whatever, and he was talking about having different fans of his host the show. Todd had suggested that. And Poor Man was like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, that'll happen. Yeah, that would be good. That would be cool. And the funny thing is his Skype froze right there. And so he was off the air for a little bit. So Todd, in fact, did wind up hosting it for a little bit and did a really good job. Hey, Todd.
Hello, Di.
So today, you are supposed to apologize to Fred Lundgren, the owner of KCAA, and you're not really sure what for?
Well, see, I don't understand that. I run the Poor Man Show No Censorship group on Facebook, where sometimes critical things are said about Poor Man, about Fred, about KCAA even, but that's the whole nature of an uncensored group. In fact, if anyone wants to come in there and say things about me that are not flattering, they can do that as well. I've said that before. Now, I don't understand, because the thing I know that really angered Fred, I'm not going to repeat it out here right now, but that wasn't even said by me. It was said by somebody in the group, and I don't know what Fred wants me to apologize for, but I have said to Fred that if anything I have said has been inaccurate and I could be convinced reasonably that I was wrong, I will correct it, and I will even apologize then if I said something that was incorrect that made him or the station look bad. But I can't apologize for expressing my opinion if it may be unflattering to either Poor Man, the station, or KCAA. I call it like I see it, and sometimes I have to take educated guesses when I don't have all the information.
So I'm hoping that Fred will call right now, and you guys can kind of battle it out and maybe put it all to rest.
I mean, that would be fine.
That would be really cool. That would be really cool. So I do have something, too, that I wanted to share. I shared it with Todd earlier. I talked to him about it. You guys, this is totally funny because, this is when he first came back. I believe it was end of February, March. I took over March. This was on the first show that I was actually on the air with him. So check this out. This is him talking about phone calls.
People, I guess, are starting to hear it. I mean, the first couple of weeks, I would give out the number, and the only person who would call in would be like Di in the other room. Well, you know what? It's just going to take time. I mean, that's where I've matured in my demise.
Did you guys hear that? He's matured.
It is on, Trevor.
Yeah. Are your mics on?
Poor Man, it's the same song over and over and over again. The things he says these days about not enough
wait a
phone
minute, mine's
calls
on.
Now I'm in.
And meltdowns and all that other stuff. It's the same stuff he said 5 years ago when he came on here in 2010. It's always the same over and over, which is why I thought it was so funny when he said earlier this year that he's matured, he's not going to worry about the phones this time. I knew that was not going to be true.
Well, you know what? It's just going to take time. I mean, that's where I've matured in my demise.
I just love it. Okay, so I want to hear about what happened out at Scotiabannock's.
Well, I wasn't there.
You weren't there,
but I was told,
was there,
and I got a lot of the story because I followed it a lot. There's a lot of drama that happened. I guess what occurred was that, and it would have been great to hear this on Poor Man's show from him, who was there, but he hasn't shown up since then. What happened was, I guess at about 10:30, Linda Gross and her husband left, and they hit a parked car. Now, there's been differing reports on how much the car was hit, whether it was, quote, kissed, or whether it really was like hitting a parked car and doing substantial damage. But that doesn't really matter. Anyway, the cops showed up and pretty much swarmed the scene, and this scared the owner of Scotiabannock.
How come I didn't see any of this?
I don't know.
I was there.
Everyone agrees this
You were
happened.
drunk.
No,
Yeah,
I was
agrees this
not.
happened,
Trevor? No.
I was
like
not
I wasn't
drunk.
there, but everyone there agrees this happened. That the cops were swarming the place after the hitting of the parked car, and then the owner of Scotia got really paranoid, like, oh my God, the cops are here because we're too loud. Oh my God, things are going to happen now, and so everyone kept assuring the owner of Scotia that this has nothing to do with what's going on inside the bar. It has to do with this accident outside. But he got so paranoid and kept demanding the bands turn down their sound, which they did. Then he still wasn't happy, and then at 11 p.m., just half an hour later, the whole thing was shut down, which made a lot of people unhappy because the thing started at 9, and people expected to be there until, closing time around 2.
Right.
And a lot of people were very irritated that they didn't get to hear the bands fully perform and that the night was cut so short. 11 p.m. sounds late until you realize it started at 9, and people had the expectation of being there for about 5 hours. And I almost came from 100 miles away for this thing, and I'm glad I didn't. I would have been really frustrated to have driven all that time just to be sent home almost right away. So that's what happened, and there was a lot of drama because there was the question is, does Linda have any blame because, that she or her husband hit the parked car, and then that kind of caused a chain reaction where the cops were there and then scared the owner. And my opinion was no, because that's just kind of an unfortunate circumstance. But it was really the owner who panicked. Accidents happen. Nobody wants to hit a car, and they tested her husband and her, and nobody was judged to be drunk. So that just happens. I wouldn't blame Linda for that. It's just the owner hit the panic button, and that was the end of that. So I guess it's kind of appropriate. It's kind of an appropriate end given how things related to the Poor Man Show tend to go. That's what happened.
So what is your prediction about the Poor Man? You always have your predictions.
Well, yeah. So here's this is really weird. Usually I have some kind of insight from secret insiders I have who can tell me things about what's going on. But this time I have to admit, I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
Wow.
And it's very weird, so I can only guess. Yeah, my insiders are cutting me out, but there's something weird here. See, the explanation we were hearing finally after a lot of time was that Poor Man just decided to take a break until after Labor Day. But it's not that simple because there was a lot of weird cover-ups going on by everybody regarding what was going to happen. Everybody, including the sponsors, like Henry and Linda and others, were left in the dark, where they just said, "Hey, is Poor Man coming on Monday? Is he coming on Tuesday?" People tried to call Poor Man; he wasn't answering the phone. People called KCAA; they were not given a straight answer. Nobody could figure out why there was no answers about this, and also even the website, even the KCAA website, kept taking Poor Man's picture up and down regarding whether he's on at 4 p.m. Wednesday. Eventually they put it back up, right before Wednesday at 4 p.m. when he was supposed to come back, only to have him not come back. And the weirdest thing, Loveline appeared on KCAA on Wednesday, which I still don't understand. That's even stranger. So,
I thought it was funny. We had to fill. So we just thought it would be funny.
Why would you fill it with that? I don't even agree with that one.
Because it's funny. It's his arch. But it wasn't really Drew who was on the air. It wasn't Drew who was on the air.
I know.
Yeah, it was a stand-in host for him. So that's kind of how we felt like we got away with it.
Well, you guys got to hope that the owners of Loveline don't find out, because that could be some trouble. But I don't care about that.
Hey, you can listen to the podcast online. I figure, I don't know.
Well,
you know how that goes.
I'm not a defender of Loveline. I honestly stopped listening to Loveline when Poor Man left. It just became unlistenable. I just didn't enjoy it anymore.
Well, that means that you did like Poor Man back in the day. See,
if I didn't like listening to him, I wouldn't do it. So I enjoy listening to him on the radio. Even if I'm critical of things he says and does, that doesn't mean I don't like listening to him. And
right.
He was Loveline, and when he left there, it wasn't the same show, and it didn't appeal to me anymore.
And I still like him. I mean, I really do. I like Poor Man. He's a good guy. He just has these quirks that kind of bug me once in a while.
Well, yeah. So here's the question, and this is why I've been irritated for the last week with Poor Man and the station and other things, because I feel at the very least the sponsors need to know what's going on, and if Poor Man's taking a break, then it just needs to be this simple. Either Poor Man should tell them I'm taking a break and I'll be back next week and I'll give you back whatever money you spent on this week's ads, or if Poor Man is uncommunicative and won't respond and is being evasive, then at the very least the station should be honest with the sponsors and say, hey, Poor Man, he's not going to be on this week, or we're not sure if he's going to be on, but if he isn't, this is what will happen. You've got to lay it out to people so they understand what to expect, and everyone was left in the dark, everyone was left confused. And that's what I found was disrespectful towards those who are spending good money. And the Poor Man Show, the people and entities who derive the benefit from the Poor Man Show it's, as far as I know, half Poor Man and half KCAA with the ads that are sold. Now, I've heard rumors that maybe Poor Man hasn't shared the money properly, but I don't know. These are just rumors. I don't know how much.
As bad as this can be, Todd, do you think this is better than a repeat, what we're doing now?
Oh, it's much better. This is much better. I'm not questioning this show being on. I think this is great that we're doing this here. I just feel that you have to treat your sponsors first and foremost respectfully, and up until this week, Poor Man had always done that. He's always gone to bat for his sponsors. He's always been upset when his sponsors didn't get calls. He's always been very nice to his sponsors. He gets mad if anyone says anything critical of them, and that I can really respect. This week, the way he behaved with them, I didn't respect that because they were left in the dark when they've been paying good money for his show, and Poor Man says himself, oh, my sponsors don't get a response. Well, okay, if they're not getting a response, the very least you can do is be respectful towards them and keep them in the loop as to what's happening. So I have no idea what's going on with him, but if he won't do it, then the station also needs to keep the sponsors in the loop if Poor Man won't do it. It can't be left entirely on Poor Man's feet, and that's a lot of my problem here, but what's been going on, and that's why I've...
Yeah, but, okay, people are going to say, Todd, it has nothing to do with you. Why do you care?
Well, okay, that's a good question. That is a good question, why I care. You're right, it has nothing to do with me. It does not affect my life. This is like a reality
But apparently
show.
It does.
No, it doesn't. I'll explain.
I think it does.
It's like a reality show to me. I don't watch reality TV because it's fake.
Because you have it. You live reality.
Right. That's the whole point. Reality TV is fake. It's staged. And I don't like watching staged things that are passed off as real. If I want to watch things that's staged, I'll just watch something that they present as fictional.
Or you'll just listen to the Poor Man show.
Right. So this is actually like reality TV. This is a saga with a lot of drama that constantly goes on, and wherever Poor Man is, it seems to follow him. And that's a lot of the reason I follow the Poor Man. Not only do I find him entertaining on the air, but I find the reality surrounding him, the drama, the meltdown, the people that are surrounding him that are upset about things. I think this is all interesting, and I also find it interesting to take apart hoaxes and lies and subterfuge.
Right, but
and
Todd,
kind of be part of it.
Todd, now this is the other issue I've got. Is because Lyle and Leslie are sitting beside me on both sides. They don't even know anything about Poor Man. They know nothing about him. I mean, for them listening, this guy sounds like a whack job or something's wrong with him, but he's really not. But Leslie wants to she has a comment. Let's put her in.
Yeah. My comment just is real quick. It's like a train wreck. You know, like the desert.
She's never even heard that term, and she pointed it out.
You know, it is. It's like a train wreck. You don't want to see it, but you can't look away. So you just kind of keep on it, and you keep following it, hoping that the ambulance is going to show up and take everyone away. That and everyone turns out healthy in the end. But because I see everything on Facebook, where I'm getting all of this is off of Facebook, and it's like this big circus, and I'm like, what is the deal?
Well, that's the thing. It is like a train wreck. It is a circus. And it's real, except for the hoaxes that are attempted, which actually aren't that interesting. The stuff that is real is actually really interesting if you follow it, and that's why when people read this stuff, they're on the edge of their seat and they want to keep reading more and see what happens next, and that's why I participate in it, and that's why you may get the impression that this is a big thing in my life and that I'm obsessed. It's not true at all. It's just something that's entertaining to me, and I've gotten involved in following and being a part of and kind of being like an outside commentator. And that's why I'm kind of attracted to dysfunction for whatever reason. I always have.
There you go.
Yeah. And you know what? Call 949-870-6155.
Hey, we're gonna take a break. Check this out. I've got my my Poor Man intervention commercial coming up. So we're talking about all the drama and everything.
Do you find yourself resentful of family and friends? Do you find yourself lashing out at people? Are you generally unhappy with the tendency to blame everyone around you for the things that go wrong? Do you rely heavily upon everyone around you to do your job? Are you spoiled like a 5-year-old trapped in a 61-year-old's body? Are you stuck in life? Do you find yourself as bad off as Caitlyn Jenner in that no matter how many miles you run, you can't escape yourself? Well, Good news. PM Intervention is here to help.
Freaking get over it!
Leading with over 4 million searches, the 2015 U.S. Open Championship is in full effect. Marianne Cilic is the defending champion in the men's single event, while Serena Williams is the 3-time defending champion in the women's single event. Get this, it's the 135th edition of the U.S. Open, the 4th and final Grand Slam event of the year. Also trending with over 500,000 searches, more cast members for season 21 Dancing with the Stars were revealed. Paula Deen, Tamar Braxton, Kim Zolciak-Biermann, and Alex Galartos are all joining together to put on their dancing shoes. Many people are saying on social media this may be one of the most entertaining seasons yet. And after Kanye West went on a rant while accepting the award for the video Vanguard at the VMAs, West announced his run for presidency in the year 2020.
I have decided in 2020 to run for president.
His announcement lit social media on fire. Many people say they're looking forward to see if he really runs. This had over 500,000 searches. I'm Successful Brim with what's trending this week on KCAA 1050 AM. The station that leaves no listener behind.
It's getting hot here at Freeway Auto Center. Coming up Saturday, September 12th, Freeway Auto Center presents their car meet and sales event. They're bringing you trophies, raffles, vendors, music, and much more, just when you thought there was nothing to do on a Saturday in September. Freeway Auto Center brings you a day you won't forget. All brought to you by Low and Fitted. Not to mention the all-day promo and video recording. Find out how much fun you can have buying a car. Remember, it all comes together at Freeway Auto Center from 1 to 10 p.m. Saturday, September the 12th. Did I tell you where it all happens?
No.
It's going to be at 333 South Waterman. That's just north of the 10 freeway. The Freeway Auto Center Car Meet and Sales Event, hosted by Low and Fitted, September 12th. It's getting hot at Freeway Auto Center. You've never had such a good time buying a car.
All right, I guess it's the, what could we call it? The anti-poor, it's not the anti-poor man show. It's
my mic on?
Yeah, it is now.
It's not anti.
No, it's not anti. It's the...
what this is supposed to be 888-909-1050. Call in and say anything you want within reason, no FCC violations, no attacking people. What do you think of Poor Man and his existence here on KCAA since 2010? What could he do better? What is he doing wrong? And why the hell isn't he here?
Well, I've got a question for Di, actually. Di, as a KCAA employee, what do you know? And you told me earlier today that you'd reveal some of this. What do you know as far as what's going on with Poor Man at the moment?
To be honest with you, he's supposed to come back Tuesday. I think he just wanted to take another week off, which I can't blame him. You know, maybe someone even suggested maybe he's rounding up sponsors. So
we got a caller.
Yeah, we do. So why don't you guys? Okay, let's talk about this for a quick second. Fred wanted Todd to apologize on air, but he doesn't really know what he's apologizing for. Trevor, what do you think?
The olive branch, just extend it, and maybe we can work past it.
Well, okay, but I have to understand what I'm accused of doing wrong. I can't just apologize for nothing.
Well, I guess Fred needs to call in.
That's what I don't understand. I'm trying to understand it. Now, I think that one good thing with this show, and at least up until now with KCAA, was the open and free exchange of ideas, even with people who don't agree with one another. And that should include all the Facebook groups, even if unflattering things are said. And I don't want any of the Facebook groups to go away or be forced to go away, or people trying to report them to make them go away. So I'm not going to apologize for having a Facebook group that can say some unflattering things, where certain members say unflattering things, or even when I say unflattering things. I think these things should always be open, and people should be able to say whatever they want, basically, other than things like physical threats or something illegal. That type of thing shouldn't be allowed. But other than that, I think it should be open, and that's what I think creates the best dialogue.
In the beginning, it was kind of fun, and then it just gets exhausting. I don't know how you keep up with it, Todd. It wears the hell out of me. I don't know how you guys do it.
It's like one train car after another.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah.
I get a notification. I get a notification on my Facebook, that there's something going on, and I look in it. And this last week, there has been so much of this whole entire, ordeal. And like Trevor was saying a little while ago, Leslie and I both have no clue on what any of this is going on.
Yeah,
and we see all this.
But I've worked with Poor Man for 5 years. I started here November 8th, 2010. And I was sitting at Hooters in Moreno Valley drinking and getting drunk and said, hey, I'm going to call the Poor Man and see if he's going to come on my show, and we'll start a new show. And I can be partially to blame for this, maybe if not totally. But, okay, go ahead.
How?
Because I'm the one that made all the contact, and I got Poor Man to do it.
I thought we had a caller. Where's the caller?
Yeah, where's the caller?
Yeah, we did have a caller. Yeah, hold on, Todd. Sorry about that.
It's Zombie Wolf who wants to ask you a question, Trevor.
Go, Zombie.
Hey, interesting show. I'm not too obsessed with things, but I don't have a Facebook account or anything about the show, but that's kind of weird.
You got to pay your bill for your internet.
I never listened to the Poor Man in the 80s. When the 80s came around, K-Rock was over for me. I went to KNEC because...
Yeah!
Ow, jeez, Lyle.
Sorry.
Lord.
105.5.
Dude.
Yep, the K-Rock went disco, so I quit listening to him. And I thought the whole Love Line thing was juvenile because, Johnson this, Johnson that, and it's kind of silly. But I did like the show when he brought him on, 2010. I did like it back then.
Zombie, the funny thing is, I used to listen to KROQ in the 80s. I loved the music, but I never tuned in for Loveline because to me it just seemed like people with problems. I mean, I was out partying. I was out having fun. I didn't have, time to call in about love problems, let alone did I even really have any. You're young, you're having fun, you're living life. So it was kind of to me it didn't really fit the format of the actual station, which catered to probably mostly people in their 20s.
Right, I would be out Zombie. I would be out, in the bars, and I would actually see Poor Man do his live gigs.
I'm so surprised I never ran into you in a bar, Trevor.
No, he was doing live. No, he was here's what happened to him, because they wanted to put him on at night, and he was making more money doing emceeing gigs at like Peppers and all these different places around Inland Empire and Orange County and L.A. I mean, he was everywhere. He was making more money doing that, but they forced him to do his show. But he was like, oh man, it's like I used to follow him everywhere. Tic Tac boxes falling out of his truck, and he was an amazing guy, and he still is.
Peppers,
yes.
I think
City of Industry.
Okay, that's where it's at. I've heard it. I've been there once.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's where I got my last DUI.
I love it. Just like Marbles in Anaheim and Kokomo's in Irvine.
I think Poor Man did them all.
California Dreams in Anaheim.
It's something that isn't discussed.
It's stupid.
Something that isn't discussed too often with Poor Man that I think everyone should understand. I'm kind of in the middle regarding whether or not Poor Man got screwed over by K-Rock. I think in one way he did, and in one way he didn't. What is rarely said is that Poor Man was a constant headache to them. He'd walk off the show, he'd put on dead air, he kept doing things they asked him not to. And what happens at a radio station or any job you have, if you keep defying your bosses, you're going to get fired. And this was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. So that's where it was his fault. But at the same time...
But Todd.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's just going to take time. I mean, that's where I've matured in my demise.
He's matured.
Yeah, exactly. But where I think he got the shaft was that in what actually happened there, Bean got off with nothing, and they did something pretty bad where they broke into his house and on his birthday and shoved a mic in his face and woke him up as a gag on the show. And I think that's just as bad as what Poor Man did with inviting everybody over to Bean's house for like a midnight party.
Yeah, but Todd, I got to say something. Poor Man did that on Good Day L.A. to a football player. He shoved a mic in his face when he was sleeping. He did the same thing.
But did he actually break in the guy's house? That's the thing that
I'm not sure, but I saw that video. He did the same thing that happened to him.
The thing was, they were all friends, right? I mean, I don't know. I think that it was kind of like a tit for tat thing. There should not have been a firing over that. So I think in that way, Poor Man got the shaft, and it wasn't fair. But at the same time, it was just that they got so sick of him always breaking the rules. That was just the final straw with him. And I think he believed he was
irreplaceable, and in my mind he was irreplaceable, and I still think that. I still think the show went downhill after he was gone, but there were a lot of new listeners that came around after that hadn't even heard Poor Man before, that just liked the Loveline format, and it went on without him. And I can see how that hurts. I can see how it hurts to be such an integral part in creating something like that, and watching it become so successful and the people involved so famous, like Dr. Drew, and you say, hey, I'm left behind. And he was, but some of it was his fault. So
what's confusing me also is, why isn't Pat Matthews calling in? And a lot of these people, they need to be calling in at 888-909-1050.
Well, and Pat was left in the dark, too. He posted on the Facebook group. Pat, who does all this work, I believe, for free, which is amazing to me, he was left in the dark by Poor Men as to what was going on, and that's crazy. I mean, how can you leave Pat, of all people, in the dark?
Okay, so Todd, what I'm wondering, though, is how come you believe that Pat was left in the dark?
He said so. He said...
So you're just going to take his word?
He told me that, too.
But you think... Yeah, you think I was not left in the dark?
Well, you're an employee there, and Pat is... he's not one. I know he's done some voiceovers for the station, but I know he's not an employee who's there every day and interacts directly with people like Mark, so... That's why I think you would just know because of your presence there. I'm not saying you're part of some conspiracy, Di. I know you basically have to do what your bosses say, or you'll suffer the same fate as Poor Man in 1993. But, so I don't ever blame Di for anything that happens.
No, Fred Lundgren would never do that.
Di's not part of the decision process. I don't ever blame her for anything that she has to go along with there. But at the same time, Pat, I could see being left in the dark, where they just don't take his calls and don't tell him, kind of like what happened to Henry and Linda and everybody else who wanted to know.
Todd, I have something to tell you.
Yeah.
You're wrong. Pat was not left in the dark.
Well, then he should lie on the Facebook page.
Then Pat has been he was weaving some tales to me.
Yeah, he's playing along. He's playing along. What I thought was silly was that they wanted to play along, and Poor Man had already divulged everything, that he was going to drive time beginning, I guess it was supposed to be this Wednesday, correct?
Yes.
He already divulged the new time and that he would have a couple days off, and so then they wanted to kind of play it like it was a hoax, like he got fired, so that's why they took down the Facebook page, or not but his picture on the podcast page, and did all that, right? But he had already told all the listeners, and I think Fred was even listening to the show, because he did a really, really good show Friday. He was so upbeat, and it was just so impressive. And he said that even Fred had texted him and said, hey, great show. So he had already told everybody everything. So they still, tried to, hoax it. And I was like, whatever.
So it was a hoax. That's what we were saying from the beginning. Everyone was saying, I bet this is a hoax. I guess everyone's just kind of frustrated with all the hoaxes and all this other stuff, especially the sponsors, because they were left in the dark. And everyone's like, just forget the hoaxes. Like, here's the thing with a hoax. Family Guy did a hoax last year where Brian was supposedly killed, and they even replaced him with a different character, and then after a number of episodes...
I cried.
Yeah, they brought Brian back. But the reason that hoax worked is because, number one, it was believable, and number two, a lot of people watch Family Guy. Millions of people watch Family Guy, so a lot of people talk about it, and it creates buzz. There's not a big enough audience to this show yet to where it's going to create a buzz when something like, oh, did Poor Man get fired? Like, all it's going to be is those same people talking about it in these Facebook groups who just start to get more and more irritated, and the sponsors get more and more irritated. They're like, there's no upside to these hoaxes and only a downside, so that's why they should just...
But, the hoaxes wouldn't continue if everybody would just go, whatever. When he comes back on, he comes back on. It's because they generate so much attention that you guys keep getting hoaxed.
Okay, but it's not really good attention. It's not doing any good for the show.
It's not good attention, but,
And it's not creating, like, mass awareness of the show. If the attention was reaching out to other people outside who wanted to go listen because of this, I'd understand, but it's not.
What you're saying is
frustrating the existing listeners.
Right, but what you're saying is people outside looking in think this is like some crazy group of people. And it's
bingo.
And Poor Man is
sounds good to me.
He's the ringleader of this crazy group, and he doesn't even get it.
That's true. He doesn't get it. And also, he really should capitalize, and Fred said this at the beginning and somehow went away from it. He and KCAA should capitalize on this crazy group and the Facebook groups and all this other stuff, and kind of make it all part of the show and make it something that people who are not participating in this on the outside are going to want to listen to and follow the drama, and then... But they've got to be part of it. See, here everyone's just left in the dark, and is not part of it, and anyone trying to listen from the outside who's not really reading the Facebook is just going to try to tune in when poor man says he's going to be on, and he's just gone.
And I agree with you. And even Fred at a time wanted to make everybody the cast.
Right.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
But what do we do when we lose people like Victorville Dave and Margie the Racist and Millionaire Myron? And I mean, the list goes on. But he's creating this crazy group, and then they all go by the wayside because he doesn't take care of his business.
Well, yeah, but then you get more crazy people to come in.
Wait, no, wait. We need
right?
to, we need
look
to
at
build,
Lyle.
We need to build on the.
Yeah, look at Lyle.
I'm gonna say this to poor man.
You
poor
found
man.
him where at McDonald's?
Yeah, in the drive-thru at McDonald's at 2 in the morning.
But I'm gonna say this to poor man. Poor man. Once we get the crazy group, you can't drive them away.
Right, including me. Because he did that with me.
Right.
He did that with me. I was totally on board. Remember, we had our big old meeting, Trev? You guys can't be having your own conversation when you're on the radio. You got to be listening to whoever's talking.
Ah, geez, come on, guys, pay attention.
Yeah, thank you, Todd.
We've got like 18 more minutes. You can focus here.
I'm not having my own conversation. I am listening to you, Todd.
He wasn't talking. It was me.
He's just punching me because he's saying good job. So whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but he has. He's offended all of us on several occasions. Like, he thinks you should quit drinking, Trevor, and he thinks you're being abusive to your mom by not doing that. And I'm like,
that's not.
I'm not sure how that.
That's not really what. Okay, poor man. He tries to manipulate and control me. I understand, but when he put me on suspension, I said, fine, I'll just do my own show. And he told me prior to that, he goes, you could do your own show. And I said, okay. I took him to task and I did it.
I have to say that Trevor really has been the MVP of the 2015 Poor Man Show, and at least before creating his own show, because he brings so many sponsors. Trevor has brought so much. He was doing those little drunk segments at the beginning, and I think Poor Man never really has completely appreciated Trevor for what he's done for him and for the show, all the shows he's had.
You think he's jealous? You think he's jealous? You think Poor Man's jealous of me?
No, I don't think so. See, I think that's just an excuse. I don't think maybe at the moment he's jealous because you have a show and is a little paranoid that, what if that becomes more popular than his show. But
right.
Before that, I just think he wasn't being appreciative. I don't think before you started the show he was jealous. And
yeah.
I also never understood why he's so concerned about listeners or substitute hosts coming on when he's gone and has to do these reruns.
Because I'll tell you why. Because he said he's been screwed over in radio so many times he doesn't trust anybody.
But how can these people screw him over? They don't have any power. They're just on for his hour and then they're gone.
Right.
That's his own demon.
Yeah, true. Okay, so we have less than 15 or about 15 minutes left, and we have two callers. We have Linda and we have Brett. So let's see. Let's go ahead.
Can we get someone I don't know? Can we get someone in the IE I don't know?
888-909-1050.
888-909-1050. How come? Hello, Inland Empire. Hello.
Radio Hindenburg.
Okay, we're going to go to Linda. All right, go ahead, Lynn.
Hey, Di. Hi, everybody. I just wanted to chime in about the hoax thing. First of all, let me preface this by saying Poor Man has been absolutely very supportive of me in every way, which way, up and down, and I'm very, very appreciative. I guess that sort of came to an end, after last weekend or what have you.
Really?
So as a sponsor, I have a contractual agreement as a sponsor to be left in the dark, to not know what's going on, to not know what Poor Man's schedule is.
Did you sign a contract with Poor Man?
It's quite unnerving. And not only from a sponsor point of view was I kicked in the teeth, I was also, my time slot got changed to a much lesser time slot because of all the changes. So, it's hard to deal with it when everyone's mom. It's like, how do you cope?
It's a good point. I agree.
Yeah,
I mean, it shouldn't have to. I mean, you guys can go ahead and play all the hoax you want, but a paid sponsor should not be in that position.
I agree with that.
We should be in on the loop. Tell us it's a hoax. Tell us he's taking time off. Tell us he's coming back on so-and-so date. Tell us what's up. It's to be left in the dark, I just think it's like very unprofessional.
But Linda, we should also be playing Carl from the Nickel Shopper on this show, and it's not happening.
Yeah, what happened there on the happy
I mean,
hour?
I mean, he's out there paid his money to Poor Man, but he's not even getting sponsored on this show. This is what's wrong.
We do play him throughout the day, though.
No, but that's a different contract. That's not the Poor Man's contract.
Yeah, and what about the leather lapidary? What happened to that?
That should be on here too.
Okay, and let's go ahead and go to Brett. Hey, Brett.
Hey, I was going to call on the hoaxes too. We've been going through this ever since the show started back on the 3rd edition, and you guys kind of tip your hand a little bit. It's cute for you guys to watch us scramble on the outside and see how it's going to happen, but
dude, I just work here. That's all.
Yeah, I don't blame Brian.
I was.
I'm telling you guys, it is not professional. Every time you guys do a hoax, it just looks bad on the staff and the owners of KCA. I would be professional. No more hoaxes. It backfires. It doesn't propel you to the next level. We don't look back and say, "Oh, they did that. The show is so much better now. I want to shop at KCA." It doesn't take you guys to the next level. It bumps you down to the next level. I don't know why you guys keep doing these hoaxes. It just doesn't advance you at all. It's funny to watch us scramble like clowns, and we are. It just doesn't work for you guys. It's not working. Look at Tom Likas. He doesn't do it on his show. No one does it. I don't know. Playing the hoax on listeners, it's
Brett.
just not fitting or professional.
Brett, we have Angus Young on line 3.
Yeah, I was about to say, let's bring Angus back.
Let's bring Angus back.
You got what?
Angus Young on line 3 from DC.
Oh, great. There you go. It's just not fitting. It's just like there's just some people that should just not tell jokes, and the staff of KCA should not be pulling hoax on the listeners, man.
Well, and my boyfriend.
If it's an effort to gain new listeners, the hoax is like so complicated and so insider that only 20 people are going to figure it out. I mean,
if you
the
guys want to
average
get more
person
listeners,
that's
buy a
tuning
billboard.
in, that's scanning
Do
the
some
channel,
advertising.
they're not going to know what's
update the
going
website.
on.
All right, we're
hoaxes.
talking on top of each other. So
Okay.
yeah, you're probably right about the insiderness of it.
What about your boyfriend? You were going to say something about your boyfriend.
Yeah, he doesn't like the hoax thing. He doesn't like it at all.
Well, I'll say my girlfriend, who the mom of my child, I've been with for 6 years. She thinks this is all nuts. She won't even listen to the show. She doesn't want to hear anything about this. I've got to kind of make this a separate life from her. She knows I do it, but she just thinks this is all insane.
Yeah. All right.
You think after the 5th or 6th time, if it's not working, I would try something else.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me on. Thanks for taking my call.
Was that Brett?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye, Brett.
All right.
Have a good
Bye,
weekend.
Brett.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Brett.
All right. Mark wants to weigh in.
Hey!
Ouch.
Oh, here's Mark. Wow.
Hello there. This microphone works really, really well. That's the headset.
Which mic is that?
I am on mic number 1. All right. Number 1. Oh, okay.
It probably works really well because it was all the way up.
So how did Steve Martin say this? Excuse me. But I'm trying to think of any liners we said that Poor Man was canceled. I'm trying to figure out where we ever were trying to pull a hoax here. Other than Poor Man isn't on the radio station right now.
Where is Poor Man?
Poor Man could be in Cozumel. He could be, in Miami. We could be raising bail money for him on GoFundMe.
Well, you didn't directly say it, though. It was
no,
implied.
we didn't.
No,
it wasn't
information
implied.
was given.
Implying is assumption. And you know what happens when you assume something? You break that down. The fact of the matter is, Poor Man's coming back at 4 o'clock on Tuesday.
Woohoo!
Yes, he's coming back at 4 o'clock on Tuesday. And, we're glad he's coming back. And we think it's going to be a dynamite show. And he is really excited because this is the afternoon drive, and we're going to be on 106.5. I'm not kidding. Been up in the hills with helicopters and helicoptering things in. And Joe Britt, the engineer, just came in here, and there's just some big old eyes and all tired and back aching. We're working hard to construct that, and it is just days away, if not, maybe even moments away.
Well, I was looking in Las Vegas at the sports book, and the LVH, which sets a lot of betting lines. They set the over-under on 4 days on the first Poor Man Meltdown when he doesn't get enough calls at 4 p.m.
Well, that's a good shtick, though. I got to tell you, we're having fun around here, and it's good to see that Poor Man has so many people that are so excited.
True.
And when I said, okay, logistically, when we have to put this website up, and every week, and it changes. It's a living thing. It really is. And you see the little icons in the podcast and everything. We couldn't put Poor Man's picture up at 4 o'clock when we were running other shows. So,
but
that's
it was
what
up.
happened.
It was up on Friday of last week, and then it went down, then it came back up.
Because that's the way it works here.
But you replaced it with like a placeholder. It's not like
We're
you put other
fickle.
shows there. It was a placeholder like
That's
great
because
program.
Poor Man wasn't there.
Do you think Poor Man will listen to this show or take it to heart, or is
Yeah,
just
he'll
gonna?
listen. He's listening for sure, or he will later if he has.
Well, he has an ego. I know that.
Well, we all have egos.
Not me.
Really?
You? Oh, man. Not me? No, I don't have an ego.
No, I've been beaten down by Poor Man.
I don't need an ego because I already know I'm great.
Well,
Yeah. Good. I didn't want to have to break
So
the
what
news
would,
to you.
What would it take to stop doing the hoaxes? Let's move on.
There
to
isn't a
something-
hoax, Linda.
Because
Is this
the-
Linda?
well, the-
Is this Linda
the-
Gross?
the-
Linda
Still
Gross.
on the
the
line?
Loveline show.
She's
in
angry.
lieu of his return. I mean, what is that? It's not playing in Poughkeepsie.
It's just having fun.
I think
Radio's
the sponsors
supposed to
just
be
want
fun.
to stay in the loop. They just want to know what's going on. I think that's what she's trying to say.
Well, that's a contractual thing on Poor Man's show because that's not KCAA. That's Poor Man. And I
No,
hope
it's just the
everybody
right thing to
understands
do.
that.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Oh, are you going to tell me how to do my job, Linda? Are you going to tell me
No,
that I'm a
I'm
liar?
certainly-
Linda, are you calling me a liar?
It's just
Linda.
the right
I'm
thing
not
to do.
saying
It's
that.
the right thing
My
to do.
You said that's
contract
not
is
true. So the
KCAA.
opposite of not true is a lie then, right?
I wasn't saying that. I
Okay,
was
then you're
giving
taking
you a
that back is what you're telling
clarification.
me. You're taking that back, right?
I'm not calling you a liar. I'm
Good. Thank you
giving
very
a
much. Okay.
clarification.
Okay. And our reputation is not sullied here. We are like any broadcast network. We're like a broadcast network for radio. We have over 40 shows, and we operate a website that's a living, breathing thing, kind of.
But I've never seen it where a sponsor's kept in the dark whether the honor personality is going to come on or not. I've never seen that ever
Our
in
contract is with Poor Man.
radio. It's not about contracts. It's just about
Our agreement is
whether
with
the right
yes,
thing
it
to do
is.
is.
Yes, it is. It is. Our agreement is with Poor Man, and anything that Poor Man does 5 minutes after the hour to all the way up to 59 minutes is Poor Man in his
No, it's about
contracts, and he's
keeping
paying
people
for
in
that.
the loop, though. You guys make half the money from Poor Man's ad sales. so
Actually,
you guys
that's
are
not true either.
responsible, too.
No, that's really not true.
Well, you should be. If Poor Man's not
Hey,
paying
we
you,
got
that's
another
on him, but
caller
you should be.
coming in.
Yeah, this is Vince who has a question for you, Mark.
Uh-oh.
All right,
Uh-oh, Vince
Vince.
Duffy. Is this Vince
Yeah,
Duffy?
well, here's the deal, and this is in defense of Linda because I've been there as a paid sponsor.
Oh, I'm not attacking
She had-
Linda. I'm just
she
setting
had
the
a
truth straight.
contract to be on at 4 o'clock once a week.
And we
That's
negotiated
where
that
she
contract
should
with her,
remain
and she
until
shouldn't
the
come
end of
on
her
the air.
contract.
She shouldn't come on the air and say that. We in good faith talked to her behind the scenes. Said, "Hey, this is what we got going. Will you do this? Will you work with us? Will you be on the team?" She said, "Sure."
I don't know how other sponsors are, but it is on page 1 of my KCAA contract.
Well,
Page
you know
1.
what? This is what's going to happen, Linda. Okay.
Who the hell is Poor Man? What,
Poor
does
Man
he
is
have all the
who the
leeway
hell
over
is a
there?
Poor Man is the one that created this whole mess.
Poor Man is one of our highest rated shows. To be honest with you,
Of course.
It doesn't matter. That is not. If he doesn't like his 2 o'clock slot, the hell with him.
No.
It's
You know,
simple as that.
actually,
That's
it
the
wasn't
way
that
it works.
he didn't
He's got
like
a
the 2 o'clock
contract
shot.
for 2. Linda's got a
No.
contract for 4.
No, she
4
doesn't,
o'clock.
and we
That's
changed it. And we changed it. So you're not the attorney, and we've got a new agreement with Linda, and that's the way it is.
Well, a lot of this isn't just about contracts. It's about what's right. The
No,
right
in
thing
radio
to
it
do,
is,
the morally
'cause that's what
correct
pays
thing
the
to
bills.
do.
That's
The
what pays
ethically
the
Poor
bills.
Man never signs any contracts. He just says, "Send me the money," and then it's in the ether now.
Here's what truly happened.
Not like that. That's
We
the
are a
difference.
bottom line radio station like anything else, and we're an independently owned radio station, one of the very few last ones in the nation. So before you go rubbing us right into the ground, you wouldn't even get on the station with Clear Channel or any of those other big mass media companies. But here is it in a nutshell. The agreement is that we asked Poor Man to move to 4 o'clock. That was our network.
Okay, but why does
station.
that matter? Why is that an
Why
issue?
does that matter? Because we have a new sponsor that was live that's bringing us a bunch of money. Okay?
No,
and that's
I'm
at 2
asking,
o'clock.
Why does it matter if you moved him or if he asked to move? It's the same thing.
What does
You
it
should
matter?
Still keep the sponsors
Yeah, and he will.
aware of what's happening.
And I 100% agree with you on that one. But on the other token,
Then move
I don't
him
know.
to 6
I don't
o'clock.
know. I don't know what he did tell his sponsors. To be honest with you, that's his business.
Mark,
But they called
then
you
move
guys to
Poor
ask and
Man
you
to
wouldn't
6
tell them.
o'clock.
They called to ask what's going on because Poor Man wouldn't tell them, and you guys wouldn't tell them either. That's the problem that I'm having.
Oh, no. I think you're assuming, again, we wouldn't tell them when we hadn't discussed it.
Well, that's what I was told by
There's
them.
a lot of us presumptions here that,
No, people told me.
People
Unless they're
told you.
lying to me.
Okay, but I'm telling you, I'm the general manager of the station. That's the way it is.
That doesn't mean
They
it's right.
move Poor Man to
We're
6
gonna
o'clock at
leave him
sundown time.
at 4 o'clock. We're gonna leave him at 4 o'clock because that's our decision. We own this radio station, and that's our company.
But
There's
you
like a
don't
pecking
do
order
that
at
to a
KTAA.
paying
Exactly.
sponsor like Linda.
Okay, we got another
You
caller.
don't do
We got
that.
another caller. No, cut the lawyer off. I don't know who he is.
That's Vince. Yeah. Hey, we do have Dawn on the line who wants to say something. Go ahead, Dawn.
I don't have an opinion on any of it. I just wanted to say hi to Trevor.
Oh, Trevor, give me a high five.
What?
Hello? Is
Turn that up.
Is Dawn still there?
There we go.
I can't
Good.
hear anything.
Okay.
Dawn.
Yes, I'm still here. I just called to say hi to Trevor.
Oh, really? Thank you, Dawn.
Haven't talked to you in a long time, Trevor.
Where is your locale?
Well, I'm in California right now.
And do I know you from my past?
Should you know him?
From your past.
Where? No, what bar?
Where do you send the child support to?
Wait a minute. Where are my children?
I've been meaning to take issue. Is my last name Westwood and UCLA is my big school here. And what's this Trojan stuff you got on here?
Oh, Don, what do you have to say about Poor Man? Or you think I'm better than him?
I don't know. I just happened to turn your radio talk show on, so while I was here in California for the week, so I thought I'd just call and say hi.
Oh, yeah. Hi. I just wish
because I don't get that in Ohio.
Oh, no. I know who you are. Wow.
Trevor, you know what this is, though? This is fun this afternoon.
Yeah, this one's from Ohio.
Ohio.
You calling from Ohio?
Oh,
no, I'm in California for the week.
Oh, okay.
With can I give you initial BH?
Yeah.
All right. I know exactly who you are. Tell BH she always had my back. I love her. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are you sure it's BH and not BJ?
Oh, wait a minute. Don't go there.
That's part of your past. I don't know.
Well, okay.
Okay, guys, look.
It might have happened, but okay.
We need to wrap things up, and Lyle wants to do a special presentation of.
He wants to sing us out.
Want me to do it now?
Sing us out.
All right, you guys got to help me here, okay?
No, I'm not.
You might be on your own, buddy.
Oh, okay.
Remember, Poor Man is on at 4.
Hey, but hang on. Yeah, Poor Man is on it for Tuesday. Todd, thank
Everybody
you so
have
much.
a happy Labor Day.
By
Yes,
the way,
a very happy
if
Labor
Poor
Day.
Man plays independent music. I want him to play the radio Slumlords. There is a band called that, a Slumlord Radio.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
We'll
but
see
Lyle, we're waiting for Lyle. Okay.
Don't go to
Bye,
bed.
Todd.
Bye, Todd.
Bye, Todd.
Don't
Bye,
go
Lyle.
to
Bye,
bed
Trevor.
with.
Bye, bye, everybody.
Bye. Happy Labor Day. Don't go to bed with the price on your head. Dot, 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 don't do it. Dot, 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 don't do it. Let me think of the rest.
Don't go to bed
with the price on your head. Dot, 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 don't do it. Don't do that time. Don't do that crime if you can't do the time. Dot, 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 do it. Dot, 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 don't do it. And keep your eye on the sparrow. When the road gets narrow.
Okay.
All right.
Where can I go where
Wow.
the cold winds won't blow? Dot, 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 don't do it. Dot, 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 don't do it.
Poor Man, take that to heart.
People, I guess, are starting to hear it. I mean, the first couple of weeks, I would give out the number, and the only person who would call in would be like Di in the other room. Well, you know what? It's just going to take time. I mean, that's where I've matured in my demise.
This is KCAA Loma Linda, the station that leaves no listener behind. CNBC News is next, a courtesy of buysellmakeoffer.com, where you can post a video
that the
about
mixed
items
data in the August jobs report was just good enough to influence the Federal Reserve to finally begin hiking interest rates at its next meeting, now just 2 weeks away. The Dow today tumbling 272 points, the Nasdaq down 49. Just 173,000 jobs were added to the economy last month, far short of forecasts. But the national unemployment rate fell to just 5.1%. That's a 7-year low. Canadian energy company Emera is buying Teco Energy